tete ana chipotikwidzayo mota yenyu yakanaka munongodzidziwo dzechirungu idzi nekuti inenge it's comfortable, it's nice to be in. So normally, she takes the little ones, particularly sister Madzundura Kashakunetsa tichiramba tichibvunza. But she loves taking the little people for a drive in her car. Yeah, experiencing zvamaka kuro musingavoni kana zvamusina. Nerimwe zuva tete ana achidriva daiva nezvana zvazvanzi mukati. Batsika. And munongozopa insurance paya ati pane maprocess anofanwa kuita right kuti mota igogadzikwa neinsurance nei ndobva zvabudika paya kuti tana mota yakanaka zvino vanayo uku vatsikamu uku mota inoda kugadzikwa zvakazongogadzikwa munongoziva ukabankura havambozoregedzi mukadzi wavo vachiita dambudziko. But what was interesting, mashoko anotanga kufamba kava negodo vaya nevanoseka nevanodii vanenge vakuti saka henyu vaive zvavo nemota yakanaka vasina havo kana license. But then bigger to that, this week there was a story of a young lawyer in South Africa who had been practicing as a lawyer who did not have any qualifications.
I'm sure that guy is a fan of micros. Micros from the
And then somewhere along the lines, the Law Society there raised their eyebrows. Like,
but he had won 26 cases.
He had won. I think all of his cases. Yes, all his cases he had won. Do you think this guy should be stopped from practicing law, or should the Law Society, for example, take him on and say, listen, we have to come paper, we take us, because he's been winning the cases. Just like Tete Anna, kuneva kawandao. Do you think qualifications should stop somebody from doing a certain job or a certain skill alone on the basis of qualification? Should this kid be stopped completely from doing that?
Well, I think yes, it should be stopped. And let me explain. The reason why there is need to have a structured way of getting qualifications, because in some industries, issues like ethics, issues like how you get yourself, and those things are generally learned at school. And you can await that certificate you have passed in a professional body. The duty of that professional body is to uphold those professional ethics. Now, this doesn't mean to say there are no people that are talented in a certain job, but that lack nothing. But ideally, for us to promote an industry that has standards and ethics, we need to come back to the point of my paper are not. But what industry must then do, it must be able to identify talent. Whether awanika kutkoro, kana kutrazo awanika somewhere, and develop that talent.
Yeah.
In the case of this guy from Uganda, Kenya.
Kenya, I think.
Kenya. He could be talented in understanding case. He could be talented in building a defense. But within that profession of law, that he might be lacking. So really it's about the need for papers is about risk aversion. You can be good mokusona munhu. Vatumare anogona kurapa zvisingaiti kuti musoro wako chakati andika anogona kundoti raparaini rese asi musi wachapata munhu akuda kurapwa chaizvo zvakamura.
Okay. All right. So I'm following your argument here. But let's, and Folake, I'm going to take it back to Ubuntu, right? We didn't have formal education. And formal, I mean the way we recognize it today.
We didn't have European education.
We didn't have a Western system, correct? Asivana godobori, vananyanji, ombarume, vaigona zvavaigona, vaiveko. Taiziya sei kuti uyuyu anozvigona. Because vana Nyamukuta, that would always get me. Makoti and Nyamukuta, forgive me. vananyamukuta
vanga
vaiveko
variko vasina kuenda kuchikoro
vasina chipepa chakanzi ndinyamukuta asi vanhu vaitoziva kuti uyu ndichiremba uyu.
First and foremost, we need to agree that there was a format of passing that knowledge, which is education. And for as long as we separate traditional education and Western education, the demands are different. But what is there was education. There was a way of proving that you are now. Exam. But what Western education just brought was paper. So if you're to look at it from a traditional point of view, yes, there were ways and formats. That was certification, despite having a paper.
Yeah.
But Western education, paper. Remember, I said we need to have a paper or some form of authentication.
But do we need to have a paper? Yeah. So should we not have many ways to authenticate, not just?
That's why I said at the same time, industry must be able to identify.
Bernard, do you have a paper that certifies that you're a musician?
Right. I wanted to come in. I think Zakaita say good driver, especially Nema risk, that area in front of
Manza possibility of
I'm coming there.
Okay.
Like what Koma Peter is saying, the industry I should identify people. It's also kuma musician. If I tell you ndakatanga kuridza matare instead of kuridzira mwana, I didn't even know all those things. Kusukira danhasi kune vamwe vanhu torine mapapers kudarika inini news but havandifuri.
Right.
That's a fact.
Right.
But the fact yekuti hazvikuvadzise munhu because I'm just playing my guitar hapana kukwara kwemunhu and all that. Then issue yema driver's license.
Issue you here guys kuti music inya itikuvadza. Ringasava riri physical. It might not be a physiological effect or impact you're having, but the words have power.
Yeah, they've got power. Because you know what I understand in music, emotionally, my feelings. What I'm feeling, what I sing. What I'm seeing is what I sing. So I don't think it could see. Panodiwa mapapers. Tutogona topinda kwatoti topinda not kuti ndiri kuti handirabepa. Unogona topinda kwaunotopinda usina bepa. But when it comes to driving and all that, we should understand kuti kushanda nemunhu wese. Bepa rinodiwa for communication. Like kuti iwe unogona kunge utori neexperience yekudriver usingaiti. But now wakusangana nemunhu akaverenga bepa kuti like handiti we have got mameters ekuti even nyange motikari dziri mutraffic. Une mameters aunofanira kusiya. Then iwe pamameters asiwa iwayayo ari kuitwa for safety ndopaura kuti
not marara.
You see? So ndopanozoita danger. Saka I think kuti that area inotongoda mapepa. Definitely.
Yeah. But speaking to musicians in this country, we have many people who we call musicians, but we have nothing to verify on a paper basis that they are a musician.
Yeah, music. Our music doesn't, just like football. If you look like to people like Lionel Messi, I'm not a football fan, but what on even English, not gonna do better than him.
Right.
Ndoro wangu mabroken angu atenshi.
Apa ndikureva mapepa emusic iwawo.
Yeah.
Kuti kune vamwe vane mukurumbira munomika.
Bora rake rinenge riri mumakumbo. Hazvinei nebepa, hazvinei nekunyora, hazvinei nechii. You see, but ukaona kutaridza kuti kune vamwe vanhu vanotoenda kuchikoro vanototi amazing.
It's 11:30. We are reflecting on a couple of stories that have made headlines over the years. One specifically knew of a young Kenyan who had been practicing as a lawyer on all of his cases and had never actually gained any legal training. It was only until the real person whose identity he had stolen contacted the law society and said, listen, I can't seem to access my case or my file. But he had done well without him gaining any legal, any professional training. And we're trying to understand, should you not having any training or qualification stop you from getting a job or being allowed to do the job? Zane, what's your take on this situation?
Hi. Sorry, I'm late.
What's more important? Skill, we forgive you, sir.
Okay.
What's more important, skill or qualification?
I think it depends, okay? I think when you look at what Ben is talking about, such as music and football, you're looking at the results at the end of the day. So in as much as the papers are not there, you can tell that this person can perform.
Yeah.
Right? So I think it's
like this lawyer.
Okay, when it comes down to the lawyer part, I think we also have a fake doctor in SA who was purported to be a doctor. Yeah. And apparently he was giving people some prescription.
Well.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And none of those cases have got someone that has died. But people are just like, okay, we'll be giving, a prescription by a person who's not qualified.
Yeah.
Even a pilot, right?
Yeah, who was flying for 25 years. And
yeah. But then if you look down look back at the Kenyan lawyer, I think the narrative that has been pushed by the media is he has won 25 cases.
Yeah.
But no one is saying how many he lost.
No,
he's won all his cases.
It's not all.
He's won all his cases.
That's what the media is saying.
He's won all
his cases.
His cases.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're looking at that. So I was just looking at he spoke of mercy, and like I'm saying, those are result driven. You can see the results at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So, but when you look at certain professions such as being a lawyer, being a doctor, I think it's important for that particular individual to be well versed and to actually get a qualification for those things, because it's a tried and tested kind of thing whereby you're qualified to do certain things.
I'm hearing you, but isn't this more of a Western mindset that we've just adopted? Before you came in, we were just asking ourselves, but this is
yeah.
Zvemapepa zvinezvi zvazvisiko asi nyanzvi dzaivemo dzaitozikanwa kuti uyu unogona zvakati uyu unogona zvakati, proven that he clearly understands the law without any training. Rather than punishing him, should we not rope him in and say, actually, how did you do this? What can we learn from you? This pilot who was flying 25 years with no license, never crashed a plane, and in fact him being caught wasn't because of his incompetence to some extent.
Right.
So are we not just limiting our thinking by just saying Chipepa?
Okay, I think Chipepa, they took cementa. Because no one is taking away experience here.
Yeah.
I think even right now in our your job industry, when you're looking for a job, it's Chipepa plus experience.
Yeah.
So we have a situation whereby a lot of the people that you've mentioned are relying on experience. Whereby, if you look at farming, for example, if you look at the farmers, the white farmers.
You said they were relying on experience. This lawyer, how was he relying on experience?
Experience. Watching
he read.
I want a lot of those
suits.
And then I think I've watched Grey's Anatomy many times, and I can even tell you some of those medical terminology.
That's fiction, though. You know that, right?
Experience.
No.
You know exactly, because the diagnosis there is the same.
No.
Yes,
that is fiction.
Yeah, it is.
If you listen to a doctor, I'm pulling down your. If you listen to a doctor right now who watches Grey's Anatomy, or a lawyer listening to Suits, half of that stuff is fiction because it's just stuff.
No, but it's taken from real cases. Real cases. It's real cases.
Okay. Have you seen how often a baby comes out
I think we
in
need
2 seconds? Yeah.
We need to when it comes to careers.
Yeah.
We need to separate these two things. The careers that are based on talent and the careers that are based on formal education. So if you look at things like football, things like music,
being on radio.
But there's always this wonderful question that is asked. And the journalists born or made.
Yeah.
Entrepreneurs born or made.
So there are careers that are really dependent on talent. Whereas you're born with it, it's yours, you're a good footballer like Lionel Messi. But if you look at it in the modern world, there is a school, an academy of football that actually awards certificates.
Even some doctors, though, guys. Some doctors are doctors because of talent.
Yes,
right?
That's what I was going to. Then there's the structured education careers where you're supposed to be a doctor, you're supposed to be for 5 years. But kune akaenda kuchikoro 5 because anga 15 points per A-level. Anorapa, apana munhu akafa. But kune mekuti uchimuona, you can see the talent.
Yes.
You can quickly get to a point to say, this is even a mechanic. Kune mwe mechanic wekuti pagadzira mota anotokuudza ichingoti yakada depanaro kuti mwana aro anta a long way around. So the issue is within the modern well, the only thing that we can trust, because the thing with talent, we can only see it in our bus, unless if you go ahead and. But the only thing that we have that can show us good, Zayn is good at this, is the paper.
I disagree, Peter, because you flipped there. Because initially, when you were talking about Nyamkuta, Vedu, Pachikaranga, vasina mapepa zvandoziva kuti ukaenda pasabhoku ningi pasera apa pana ningi naningi unorapa unodai vanga vasina zvipepa asi vaitozikanwa kuti
kuzikanwa. I said, remember I said there are ways of proving themselves.
Right.
The Western education system, that paper, diploma, degree, certificate. Iyedwi nalomboda ropa example kuti wakatoenda kuchimani manu kutora mayenze amen kutesta men. It's a way of proving yourself. Yeah. So even kana kuri kuti witchcraft ichironza avakadai there is an experience that becomes a CV.
Can I just say I love how the cultural examples you gave are like about witchcraft many.
I'm not being stereotypical, but and like people go to a certain lady or man because of, and there's a way of trying and testing through experience.
Can I say something?
But what we're just trying to understand really is talent is, and you can be a mechanic who's not paper in your talent. But there are careers that really, at some point, the talent yako.
Is this about talent or skill?
Talent and skill. Let's put them together. You need to have a certain.
Because there's talent, there's skill, then there's qualification.
Yes, there's talent that you have, but you need to have a certain level of qualification. Uti, unogona balance my books. And everyone can balance their books.
I hear you. But the question is the qualification only a paper qualification? But before we answer that, sorry. Bernard is burning.
I think, yeah. You know what? I've got issues that is happening like now. Ninge qualifications. Do you know kuti kuna vamwe vari kustruggle anenge atori nebepa arida kudriva rori handiti obva anzi iwewe tida munhu ane 5 years achidriva rori handiti anogona kumira 5 years kuti dzikwane kuti maybe pamwe makore akaita se akwane but paanoenda after 5 years vari kuenda kunotsvaga basa vari kuti tiri kuda kuona kuti wakamboshanda the last 5 years and nebepa rako iroro. So I don't really get it.
It's experience.
Yeah.
About experience.
Yeah. Okay, how can a person have an experience or whatever?
So and this is what this discussion is about. Yeah. Really. The idea of the skill, because once you've experienced, the idea is you've developed the skill to be able to do that thing.
So I think it's
skill versus qualification.
Yeah. Sorry. I think it's up for also mom story that we should identify. Right, munhu auya nebepa uyu tombompa chance noti kuti tobva tatongo disqualify munhu like what you were saying kuti munhu akazoonekwa kuti haana kana bepa kana chichi. We don't have to disqualify that person. Already arotomboona. We should give that person a chance.
I'm thinking papers work as a certification of sorts in terms of making other people understand what you are able to do. I can come to you and say, Folake,
yeah.
You don't. It's first time.
Yeah.
I'm talented.
I'm talented.
How do you say that?
But okay.
Then if you flip it again, you're also looking at a scenario whereby there are people that have to work extra hard to do certain things that other people are naturally gifted. Yeah. I'm not dismissing that.
Yeah.
It's there.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, for the world to see that you're able to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is because there's something that says you are able to do that. And you spoke about what we used to do back then, like you said, that's evidence. Lightning and the like. And all those things are based on, my witnesses. I don't testify as sure that is no shanda at the end of the day. So when you look at certification, basically it's yes, we takanzo do no gona, right? Karosna reputation you clearly I need to see something that will give me that level of comfort to say, okay, I can actually come and be assisted by.
Yeah. So isn't that what we should be focusing on? Peter,
okay, I think we need to let's agree initially that when we're talking about a career, we're talking about there's talent, there's experience, there's qualification. But at any point, sometimes there could be someone who has more of the other than the other. The reason why we have this structured education, you can be a talented driver, but you still go to defensive. Why? Because over time, circumstances change. There are new rules, there are ethics that you need to learn, and you can only go the talented as you may be, you might not be able to dream of these ethics. So if it's, for instance, in medicine, talent yako medicine inogona kunge iri yekurumidza kuidentify pane problem, but kuti uzive kuti chirwere ichi chorapwa nemushonga wakati, you need to go through education.
Again,
kuti ugone kuinteracta ne-patient, and you also need those things. I have an example of someone who came to fix.
But this is 2023, guys. YouTube can give you all that. Let's be very honest.
Yes, but there are some, not in all careers, but the example,
like which career?
The example of the pilot that you're talking about, who flew for 25 years. Like you said, he was not fired because he killed people, but there were inconsistencies in what he was doing over time. It was a potential hazard. Yes, he flew for 25 years, and there were inconsistencies each and every time that he flew. That the pilot who was like, I didn't see this in training school. So qualification is not about every day.
Okay, let's put him to the side. Let's deal with the recent case of this Kenyan who does not have that. He has a straight record.
He has a straight record. Like I said, 2016 record, good law. But there are issues within the law or within the practice that he might not know that could prove detriment to them.
Yeah.
And the reason why they need that qualification is to uphold a profession, to give it some sort of value.
I'm hearing
so you can be talented. Yes, you are good at looking at a case, finding an argument. But you need to go through the formal education, because the assumption is formal education will teach you things that your talent might not be aware of.
Yeah.
I'm also thinking that the legal fraternity itself allows a person with a talent to actually operate, whereby you're asked to represent yourself, and you can do that.
Yeah.
But then for you to represent others,
you can't.
It's now about others believing in what you can do.
Yeah, I'm hearing you. Yeah. I'm hearing how you're thinking is. The issue isn't so much is qualification okay or not. The issue is, should a person not be allowed because they don't have a qualification? And what should make a qualification? Is it only a piece of paper that should then say you are qualified to practice, to say etc?
Okay.
None of you seated here, for example, know if I have a qualification for journalism. None of you know that, but you trust, right? You trust that Folake can do this. Yeah, you have no choice. No, I'm kidding. But you trust, right? None of us know for sure that, and again, this is why I gave Bernard as an example, that we call him a musician. But what qualified us to have given him that title? Because chances are, this is to certify that Bernard Lukira is a musician. And we have many greats in our country, across fields, who we have given titles to say they are this. Beyonce is a musician. World-breaking musician. Does she necessarily have a qualification?
The qualification?
But I think what Peter said in terms of the three...
There are careers that, firstly, the careers that are for talent, and that talent is...
And I'm disputing that, and I'm saying all careers are talent, actually.
No, let me explain.
No, they are.
There's God-given talent.
Yes.
God-given talent. The other side is intelligence. But there's talent to being a footballer, being a basketball player, being a musician. That's a talent that
right. But you don't have to be intelligent to be footballer.
You don't have to be that. But you can be an intelligent. You can be an intelligent footballer.
Wow.
You can
are we not?
Then there's
a very fine line you're walking there.
Yes.
Because then that also implies then almost like saying music, for example, doesn't need intelligence.
No,
you didn't say that.
I didn't say that.
You can be a musician.
Sorry, Peter, let me cut you. Let me cut you. This is by deduction, because he said there are some careers on talent, aruko, then mamari on intelligence, aruko.
No. You got me wrong.
Okay.
There are some careers that are based on talent. God-given talent. You're a footballer, you're a musician. It's inborn within you.
And then the other one.
Then there is intelligence as a talent, separately. Then there is careers that you go to school for. For instance, to be a feature antenna You can be intelligent, but you cannot be efficient without going through the process.
Yes.
Peter,
But if
is
listen,
there any profession that you can do without learning?
learning.
Yeah.
It depends on what you call learning.
Is there any profession, whether it's music, football, teaching, cooking, fit and turn out,
Anyone can sell.
can you do without learning?
Anyone can sell for learning.
Yeah, anyone can sell that.
Anyone can sell. But if it's technical, I think we're just bundling up careers.
Mhm.
There are technical careers. There are careers that need your talent. For
Peter,
instance, you can just use your interpersonal
It's a
skills and
simple
talent.
question.
Mhm.
Is there any profession anyone can do
Yes.
without learning it?
Yes, you can.
Which one can you do without learning?
Selling.
You still need to learn. Come on, guys.
No, you can. Anyone can sell.
You still need to know the tips
Anyone
of
can sell.
marketing. Guys.
No, anyone can sell.
Sales. It's inborn. You can tell
Anyone
that this
can
person
sell.
can sell without having
I
Then,
Can I
and then you
give
can
an
train.
example?
I
Can I
think
give an
we
example
are-
for like why everyone can sell? When you wake up in the morning, not bathed, not dressed, that's your brand image. When you shower and you dress, that's your brand. Okay. When you wake up in the morning, that's your brand identity.
You tie
When you
yourself
shower,
in a knot here.
listen, when you shower, that's a brand image. When you get to work, that's your equity.
You still
So
tie yourself in a
everyone-
knot there,
everyone-
Peter, because even in
everyone
that
knows how to
explanation,
sell.
I hear you, but
Yeah.
even in that explanation, you tie yourself in a knot because even those things can be learned. The things that are taught in school. That's why marketing, even selling,
But the question
something
was,
you
can-
can learn.
the
But
question
what
was-
was the question?
My question is
Yes.
there any profession that you can do without learning?
Yes.
My
Yes,
point is-
and we said yes.
What I'm saying is, across all professions,
Mhm.
the important is to gain the knowledge of how to do the thing.
Muri kusireko vanhu vamwari vane mapepa vasingagoni
All right.
Well, I guess what we need to agree is when you speak of qualifications,
Mm.
they are entry level qualifications. Maybe we are thinking good what to see, but selling we're gonna kutengesa usina chikoro.
So that
Andika.
comes
Yeah.
back.
Usina chikoro andika.
Yeah. So that
But when you
comes
want
back.
to be maybe
But
you can just sell. But can order uchita.
Hold on, let's
then
move
you-
together. So
Yes.
that comes back to the original question.
Mm.
That when we are talking about competence, because I think the question here is about competence.
Yes.
How do you verify competence? Was then when we're talking of qualification, should we limit it to saying you're qualified on the basis of a piece of paper? That's the moment you
That's why I
don't
say
have
a career,
that paper.
if a career is built on qualification, on talent, on experience.
Yeah, it's just about the word qualification. What
No.
makes a qualification?
A,
Are we just-
a qualification is for
are
a
we
structure.
just-
A qualification is
Hold
structure.
on, let's move together. Are we just saying a qualification should just be defined by a piece of
Yes.
That's what you're
That's what
saying.
I'm saying.
Bernard, is that what you're saying?
I think yeah, no qualifications are good. I know limit. There are a lot of people who are educated when it comes to
Mhm.
but I think is affected So I think what Nkoma Peter was just saying, talent and all that.
Okay,
Yeah,
so let's
yeah.
go through the messages. Hi, Folake. On the issue of operating without papers, I think it depends on institutions and the laws controlling those fields. And it also helps in cases where something goes amiss and issues have to be dealt with and the legal implications come into play. Like Tete Anna's situation, being certified, documents acknowledging the knowledge, being able, skilled, and being allowed to do things should differ. When required, should have proof that we have professionals and everybody can teach and is a teacher, but you need teaching qualification to be a professional teacher. So I'm hearing this thought process. My only question I'm adding to this thought process is to say, is this the only way of verifying somebody being qualified to teach? Because, like we admitted in our education system, is a Western system, which we have adopted. I'm not questioning that. But is that the only way that we should be using? For example, in this case where we have somebody who has been a lawyer, excelled at his cases, beating those who sat in class. Let's just go through some of the messages. Black science inonzi witchcraft. Aisi kusanzisa kwedu kuti chichi kuitka zvireve kuti zvakaipa zvinongoda kuti tihwisise chete. Black science inonzi witchcraft.
Well, I
Aisi.
think it's trying to say that traditional practices have been stereotyped
Labeled.
to be
Okay,
witchcraft.
okay, got you.
I guess we need a word there for that.
Sonde, how are you?
Good.
Knowledge-based careers just need more qualifications, no compromise. Imagine someone waking up and deciding that they want to conduct brain surgery. As for Lionel Messi, he doesn't speak English because Antara Spanish, no Tarwa in Spain and Argentina. Actually, people who speak Spanish as their first language outnumber those who speak English as their mother tongue. This one is Tonde. But Tonde, I bring it back to where we were as Africans, where we did have qualified personnel doing things, but we're not necessarily holding the Western paper.
They were qualified. They were qualified by experience.
Right.
Like what Tonde says, knowledge-based careers. You need to be qualified. I think we need to have to really look at these careers. That you can't just, talented as you are, you can't just wake up and be a brain surgeon.
But that's what I'm saying. Are you saying in Susu we're not practicing medicine in our culture? We were. Look at Egypt. And they didn't necessarily have a piece of paper.
But that's based on experience.
That's based on experience.
And exposure.
But then, do they do brain surgeries?
Or were they doing brain surgery?
Wow, are you saying they weren't? Are you saying, what are you saying?
They weren't. Perfect.
Because they didn't have a piece of paper?
Because the knowledge was not there in their education system.
And they've not been trained to do.
But that becomes a separate argument. Knowledge system not being there and you not being qualified are two different things. Do you understand what I'm saying? Lack of knowledge not being
there's
there.
a best qualification. Like I said, remember I said the qualification, what a qualification will do is as the trends change in the discipline, you start learning. So let's assume the discussion medicine. That's why there's a GP, there's a physician, there's what. You should not change. And as you go, you need to acquire more knowledge.
Yeah, and that's standard.
So as much as experience is you. I give an example
I'm
of a guy
hearing
who
you,
came
Peter.
to fix.
My only issue is this thinking is a Western way of defining advanced. Because even in our culture, we were aware that things were changing.
Let's
We're then giving the impression that we were static in our knowledge.
Let's call it a global way of thinking.
Because even to brain surgery, we're now giving the impression that actually in Africa we weren't doing surgery. That's not necessarily accurate, but we had advanced medicine. Medicine Medicine came from Africa.
So my point.
Medicine came from Africa. So
my point is,
there are procedures like unofana kufonera ambulance yozouya apa poison ichifamba uzonodrena but kune vanotoziya kuti ukangotenga kamushonga aka zvaenda.
We are not denying that fact. Yeah, I agree in rightly kuti within our cultural setup we had our own form of education that equipped us with skills. But as the world moved on, there were new phenomena that you need to have. And then
right.
But
hold
all
right
I'm saying
there.
is, no,
hold on. And this is where I think the crux of the discussion is. You said as the world moved on, as if we were behind, as if it was a sense of modernization. It wasn't. How we've gotten here wasn't a sense of the world moving on. It was colonization that brought their way of doing things into our system, which is what we've taken on and said, this is the only right way to say Peter is able to do. But in our culture, we were innovating. Let me give another example. Maxwell Chikumbuluse. I hope I said his name right. We all know Maxwell, right? The Zimbabwean inventor. He has no qualification to what he does.
That's talent. But then if you have to sit down with him, he has acquired some form of education.
You know I am quiet at that thought. I'm quiet at that thought because it's going against everything you've said, because he's dealing with stuff that needs you to be intelligent. He's creating generators and batteries.
Oh,
which needs...
Did he dream them up?
He does dream them up, actually.
But, okay.
He says God just inspires these things.
Okay. I risk starting another topic.
Yeah, that's
anyway,
what I'm
let's just say Maxwell is talented. He's talented. But my point for Folake is there are careers that drive on talent. Then there's intelligence as a talent.
He is making generators right now.
From what? From other people?
He's inventing. He's an inventor.
No, but he's starting from... He's seen it happening.
The first person?
Yes. So his technology right now, yes, he actually is trying to patent. I think probably has patented his technology. And he actually had the British and the Americans coming in to try and see how he's come up with... I can't quite remember details about what he's invented, but he is. There's no one like him right now.
Okay, so I think we forgot the details. Might as well.
Yeah.
No, I can give you the details.
Let's call him talented.
Yes.
But the point is,
let's
a qualification for Folake will certify, regardless of what we feel.
Yeah, exactly.
In the modern world, regardless of how we feel that our education was there and colonization, in the modern world, you need a qualification. But the point that I have is...
So he went and created one of the first... okay, all right. Okay, keep going. Let me get you all the details.
They are people that are talented that need to then to be or found ways to be put into the formal certification program. For example, Daniel Chingoma. If you talk about his story, brilliant engineer, and he's very talented. There are so many people that are very talented. But the point is, the modern world requires you to have some form of qualification. Why? Because Pochukuro muchafunzwa ma ethics, muchafunzwa ma new dynamics and all those things. It develops your talent and your career. So I'm saying, yes, there are people that are talented, but qualification not be because qualification is certifies you. Like what Zain asked you, right now.
So let's go through some messages from listeners for some time. Everything comes from Africa. We like wisdom, gold, diamonds that came from Africa. Achina chatinoziva ukunotenga ma diamonds unotsvaka murungu kuti atenge nokuti ndiye anoziva zvokuita naro zvikanzi koma prophets, who qualifies them? Are they unqualified? Let me guess, you're going to say this is about talent.
No, I'm not qualified.
I believe
God qualifies them.
Appointed or anointed to comment on prophets.
And Daniel Chingoma didn't go to school for an airplane invention.
Wait. Yeah, he didn't go to school for airplane, and he built one. But where is it?
I don't know about. I don't know.
So you see,
but Maxwell,
he
Maxwell has built a lot of stuff.
But Daniel has the talent. He dreamed it up, he built it, but it's not going anywhere.
He didn't dream it up, or he copied.
But Maxwell's stuff is going.
So you know what? There is talent, but for instance,
so Maxwell invented a green power generator which produces electricity without radio frequency. And that had never been done before. There's actually a documentary. I actually watched this. He is not. He actually says he is not educated. I think he did up to Form 4.
Done.
So that's a qualification.
That's a qualification.
That's guys.
That's now the issue. Yeah.
But what you're saying is
yes.
Guys, let's not trivialize this. What you're now saying is you're saying if I'm Form 4, I'm qualified to be a doctor.
No, you're not.
No, you're not.
That's what
you're qualified to be anything. You're not qualified to be a doctor
or a lawyer.
Maxwell, according to your standard, is not qualified to be inventing and dabbling with radio frequency.
I said he's talent.
Not
it's talent, but I can't talk about the frequency.
That's the point. He dreams the stuff up.
Because he knows the radio frequency.
The verse is with
because of his talent, then he went ahead.
Yes.
Went away.
That's what I said when you speak about qualifications.
No. Let's go through this again. What I'm
saying. We're just going astray. If you get to Form 4, you acquire the basic education. That's a qualification.
I think you're trivializing. Hold on. No, Peter, I have to put your mic down. Let me tell you why I'm saying that. We are trivializing a world inventor right now. Hold on. No, we are. Because we've just gone and said a man who's done something that people who've gone to school to do this have not done.
Because
I got
he's intelligent. No.
I pulled your mic down.
Intelligent.
I think we are not doing ourselves as a favor as a country.
He's intelligent.
I pulled your mic down.
He's talented.
I put your mic down because we're not doing ourselves as a favor to say.
Qualification. Then he developed from there.
He did not, but that's what I'm trying to explain to you. It's okay for you to not know the story, but that's what I'm trying to explain to you, that he didn't develop from there. We're trying to follow this discussion about qualifications, right? What will certify someone to do things? And you're saying if you need to be a doctor, you need to have gone through medicine.
It's a knowledge-based career.
It's always this. None of us here can sit here and design a generator that has
talented.
Nobody else has. No, hold on. Nobody else has done it
because they are not talented. We are not.
So you're just saying it's about talent. It's not about having.
It's not about talent. Max is talented. Granted, he's intelligent. Granted, and we're not taking that away from him. But the fact that you got to Form 4 means he's qualified. No, we cannot say qualifications start at degree level. That's why even when Dr. Form 4.
So what is your point? You're saying his talent has done what in this discussion we have?
It is
because under normal circumstances,
ordinarily would not expect someone who does not have a degree or a diploma to be doing these things. But because he's talented, he has managed to do more than what ordinarily would expect by the structures.
It's 12 o'clock, but this discussion has had to end here. But I'm not seeing the value of what you're saying because, let's leave it here. And sadly, we have to say goodbye to Peter. This is your last
Yeah,
show.
this is my last show.
No.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
Why?
he's traveling. He's going abroad to add on to his
4 minutes.
qualifications.
We'll
Yes,
call you
Baba.
from a.
Yes.
I don't
It
know
has
that.
been no black filter. And thank you so much to everybody who participated in this discussion. But something that we do need to think about how we are valuing the people around us.
Yeah.
We are making impact in the things that we do. Are there any careers or professions that should be considered less than others? That are said that only these ones you need to go to school for you to be said you can be qualified to do something. But I leave you with a name that you must know and you must look up. Maxwell Chikumbuzo.